Are you ready?
I'm ready. I can't wait
You
to
ready?
see. Yes.
Let's go.
If you're familiar with the TinyLab, then you will notice something very, very different.
The railing.
We now have a railing in this house. We used to not have a railing up to our loft or from these stairs, which never really presented itself as a problem, even though we had over 7,000 people come through this home. But we do still use this, and we wanted to make sure it was safe for our newest baby and make sure that nobody falls off. We are also accepting guests now into the TinyLab for special experiential training events.
This is the RailFX system, just like we use in our big house. And I'd like to just make a couple points about tiny living and also about this particular railing system. So obviously a tiny house on wheels is by definition a very small space. You can try and be crazy with maxing out your length of the trailer, the width. That means that you will not be able to drive it yourself without a commercial driving license. Ours is a 24-foot trailer. It is 8 feet wide, which when you add on the things like siding and the vents and things like that outside the house, which by the way, just a tip, always add them on the passenger side because the Department of Transportation doesn't care about that side as much as the driver's side. Then you're going to be able to go down a 10-foot wide lane safely. So this space is 210 square feet, we'll call it, with this loft in here. And one of the things that we were concerned about is visibility. If you put a railing into a space, it is an object that is going to take up a lot of room. And also this is 3 feet tall, so up there where you've got only, almost 6 feet of clearance right here at the edge of the loft, we were concerned that it would feel a little imposing, make the space darker, all that stuff. So this RailFX system that you've seen on our big house on the outdoor decks and balconies, and also on the inside of the house, the things that we really pumped up about these in that application is the exact same as why it's important here. The visibility is paramount. So these are stainless steel cables that are very strong. You can't really hurt them. You could have a huge guy stand on them, and if they get loosened up, all you do is tighten them up at the end. There's a little nut. This is the bronze finish on this system, which we picked because of all the walnut that you can see on the back wall here. All the interior surfaces of this tiny house are plywood because you don't use drywall in tiny houses on wheels because it'll crack. The handrail is an ADA compliant because we obviously wanted to make this available to be used by all kinds of different people. Our kids, older people who come to visit here, people who might not have that great of a grip strength. Gripping something that's this small is going to be pretty easy. You can see in the house we chose something very different for the grand central staircase in our big house because we had the option to do that, and also the room. The other thing about tiny houses, the staircases that you're going to be building are not to code with normal houses. Normal house, 3 foot wide staircase. This whole interior dimension here is like 7 feet roughly. If I built a 3 foot staircase, where would you walk? Where would you lay on the ground when you're trying to relax, when you used to live here with 2 kids and 2 cats? So this stairway is less wide than that. That's why there's a special code for tiny houses, which most tiny houses on wheels will never meet any code. That's why they're on wheels, so that you can run away when somebody finds you. So this being a high performance tiny house on wheels, yes, we took a lot of things seriously that other people didn't take seriously, but this is not, let's be clear, a house. The fact that it can move makes it a trailer, so the Department of Transportation is who's going to be permitting your build, not the building department, if it's on wheels. So this is able to be stationed right here at the face of these drawers, and all we did is basically bolster the underside of the surface so that we had the full 4.5 or 5 inches for the big lag screws to go through and really grab into some meat so that you can't budge this thing. So using it is very easy. I am 6 feet tall. When I get to the top of the stairs, I do have to lower my head a little bit. That has nothing to do with the railing. But there's still plenty of room to move past the table and have a seat in the dining booth. If we had known about this system before we built the TinyLab, then we would have installed it from the get-go. You can see all the other videos about this TinyLab on the TinyLab playlist, which I'm linking on screen right now. You can also see it featured in season 1 of Home Diagnosis, which is our TV series on public television.
I hope that you love this new railing system as much as we love it. I was kind of against it, and I've completely changed my mind.
So make sure that you comment if you have other things to add about tiny houses and railings and codes, or if you have questions, like and subscribe. Tune in next time.